Designing logos in Illustrator can feel a bit stiff at times. You're clicking anchor points, adjusting handles, zooming in 400%. It's precise, but it's not always intuitive. Sometimes it's actually easier to start with your Apple Pencil. So today I'm going to show you how to take a real client reference photo, in this case, a photo of a gelato, and sketch it on an iPad in Procreate and then airdrop it to your Illustrator to make a clean vector design. This is one of my favorite workflows when I want something to feel organic but still end up perfectly scalable. So let me jump in. So I have Procreate open on my iPad Pro, and I'm going to open up a new file. So go here, and then we'll go to this plus sign right here, and we're going to make this as big as possible. So let's do 3000 by 3000. Let's make our DPI 300, which is going to be print quality, and I'm going to click create. From here, I'm going to select my layers and make sure that I have a couple of different layers on. And in the first layer, so we'll do layer 1, I'm going to come and I'm going to add my reference photo, which I've already downloaded from my client's images that they sent me. And I'm going to make it a little bit larger. I'm going to select my second layer. I'm going to change my pen to be black. Doing a black drawing with your pen will give you a more clean design when we vectorize it in Illustrator. And next I'm going to select my brush stroke. So sometimes it takes a little bit of playing to get this right. Let's try making this a little bit bigger and just see. Okay, so that stroke is way too large. I think I'm going to like the way that it designs it, the way that it draws it. This one that I'm working with is the syrup stroke. I also like the technical pen, the gel pen, and the studio pen. Maybe we'll actually do no, let's do the studio pen for this one. So let me do a test on this one. And so with this studio pen, the way that I draw and the weight that I put on my pencil, I'm going to make this about 10 pixel or 10% in size. So I'm going to zoom in as big as I can get it on this little gelato. And I just accidentally eye dropped a different color. And I'm going to start working on the shapes. So my iPad is flat on my computer. And I think it's still too big. Let's go down a little bit more. Let's go to 4%. And I'm just going to slowly start outlining the shapes of this client's picture of gelato. So if you mess up a little bit, we can either erase it or we can undo it and then just start again and kind of clean it up so that we get it to look exactly the way that we want it to look. So I'm going to outline these little pieces of cookie. I'm going to start working over here on the drips and some of these other drips and the detail in these images. And for an image like this, I don't want to get super detailed because if we get too detailed when we actually vectorize it, it's going to get hard to use it at smaller sizes. Really detailed designs look really busy when you shrink them down. But one of the great things about Illustrator is that when we actually get this into Illustrator, we can also play with the vector shapes once it's all in there. So I'm going to add some of these details in, some of the way that this ice cream is shaped. Again, not everything, but I want to get some of it in here. So we'll do little pieces of the cookie and we'll get the shape over here. And I'll do that part. And let's see, I'm going to do some of these details here. Probably, again, not all of them. And I can also add things that aren't actually in the original design too, if I want more detail that was not in the original photo, just because it adds better balance. So I'll finish up this cup shape. Make sure that's closed over there. Close that one. And then I'm going to do the spoon. So come up and around for the spoon. I'm going to add a little bit of the detail in here, but I'm going to keep it, again, pretty simple. Let's add a little bit in here. And I'm going to take my layers now and I'm going to turn off the main layer. And I think that's looking pretty good. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come to my layers again. I'm going to turn off the background layer and I'm going to share this as a transparent PNG to my computer. So I'm airdropping it and it's going to head over to my computer and we'll finish up our tutorial there. Okay, so I have airdropped my design over to my computer and I added the image to a 300 DPI canvas in Adobe Illustrator. And next I'm going to image trace it. There are a few different versions of image trace that you can do, just depending on your exact design. I play with these a little bit if I notice that the default one is not looking great. But in this instance, I do think it looks good. So I did my image trace, and next thing I can do is I can expand the design. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to ungroup it. And what that does is it takes this white piece of design that I have in here and it lets me select it. I'm also going to see if there are any other pieces of white in here. So yep, I have one right there. And I think the quickest way to get rid of all that white so that it's easy to recolor this design is to come up to select in the top menu and then same, and we'll do fill color. And now I have all of the white selected and now I can delete it. Okay, so now that my design is a vector file, I can change the color. So I just selected it to be red, and I can even come in and I can readjust these shapes. So if I notice that they feel a little too busy, or if I want to change the way that some of these were done, like some of these came in a little bit sharp with the edges, I can adjust the pinpoints individually within Illustrator. So I could convert that to a round shape. I could also select the entire thing and I could go to my stroke area and we could add a thin stroke and we could smooth it out, and that'll kind of even out the way that the edges are done. But this is now a true vector design, unlike something that was done in Procreate, which means that we can recolor it, we can put it over top of a different color, we can make it bigger or smaller, and just we have a lot more leverage with this particular design. And now this gelato mark is fully scalable. I can shrink it to a tiny favicon size or even make it so big it could go on a billboard and it loses no quality. And that's one of the reasons why I really love this workflow. Procreate gives you a lot of freedom and fluidity, and Illustrator gives you precision and scalability. And together they make logo design feel less technical and more creative. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, okay, I can trace something, but how do you actually design logos that work strategically? That's a completely different skill. Tracing is the tool, but strategy is the craft. Inside our brand design course, we teach the full process: how to think through concepts and build strategic mood boards, design logo systems, refine typography, present those to clients, and package a professional deliverable. Not just how to draw, but how to design with intention. So if you want to move from I can draw and sketch on an iPad in Procreate to I can confidently design brands for other businesses, the link to that course is down below. And if this workflow was helpful, make sure that you're subscribed for more behind the scenes designer processes. And tell me, do you sketch first for your logos or do you go right into Illustrator?